In honor of Shavuos, the pasuk says in Shir Hashirim, "B'yoyim chasunosai zeh matan Torah," referring to the yontiv of Shavuos of Matan Torah. From Moshe Wolfson, in a marvelous sefer called Festivals of Faith, put out by Feldheim, discussing Pesach Shavuos in the summer months, has a beautiful essay on B'yoyim chasunosai Matan Torah, of the wedding. Who is this wedding? The Chassan and Kala of Shir Hashirim. And he mentions a fascinating medrash based on a pasuk in Malachim Aleph, in describing the vastness of Shlomo HaMelech's wisdom. The Navi says in Perek Hey, pasuk Yud Beis, Vayidaber Shloshes Alofim Mashal. He spoke 3,000 mashalim. So what if Shlomo HaMelech was able to come up with 3,000 mashalim? Our famous Dubna Magid probably had almost as many, if not more. What is the pasuk telling us? The Navi is not talking about how many different mashalim Shlomo HaMelech was able to come up with. It is describing a chain of 3,000 mashalim. Shlomo HaMelech had a concept of the core truth and essence of the Metzius of Olam Hazeh, which he wanted to share with all the rest of us. We are known as Pashut people. But it was so lofty, so beyond the average person's conception, he needed to use a mashal to explain it. He gave a mashal, but it was still so difficult, so abstract, he had to try a second mashal. People were still not able to understand that. He made a third mashal, a fourth mashal. He continued making the mashalim more and more concrete, lower and lower and lower, with more and more mashalim. When he got to the 3,000th mashal, the people understood what he meant. What was that 3,000th mashal? That was Shir Hashirim. It talks about the union of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. That union came into being on Shavuos. Until then, Olam Haba and Shemayim, and the basin of Shemayim was always above, and we down here in Olam Hazeh were below. Then, on the 6th day of Sivan, Vayered Hashem al Har Sinai, and at the same time, Ve'el Moshe Amar Alei el Hashem, the joining of Olam Haba and Olam Hazeh. Matan Torah is clearly understood as a chasana. It is not that Har Sinai is like a chasana, but we fashion our chasanos, our chasanim, and our kalos like Har Sinai. Our chasanas are mirroring what happened at Har Sinai. Interesting. Many have a minhag, which I have seen, that the chasan starts to walk towards the kala, and she's coming down like Hashem came down towards the people. The candles that are carried by those walking the chasan and kala remind us of the flashes of the lightning. The chuppah above is like the mountain that Hashem lifted up on top of their heads. A chasan designates his kala with kedushin, as Hashem chose us as His nation. Later on, the luchais, which serve as the shtar kedushin, are also to correspond to the chasan and kala. They were placed in the holiest place on earth, the Kodesh Kodashim. There were the two kruvim, representing the cosmic couple. What a gigantic, beautiful mashal, and a new take on what Shavuos is all about. Hashem finished the creation, finished the Bria, with Shavuos. There, the Bria found menucha, tranquility and calmness, because finally the Bria arrived at its purpose. The Chasan and Kala were here. We are that Chasan and Kala. We have to appreciate the magnificence and the majesty of what Har Sinai is all about. Yes, we know, Kofalam Har Kigigas. We know there was lightning and thunder. We know that there were Anonim. We know that Klal Yisrael died listening to the voice of Hashem. But the great Gedolim of the past, and not even that long ago, the great Hasidic Gedolim, but even the Litvish Gedolim, had a gefil, had a wonderful feeling for the majesty and the awesomeness of Maimon Har Sinai. If we just get a little glimpse of that from this little mashal, I think it will have been worth the time we spent relating it to you. Shkoyach, Agid Yontif.